adopted what we call the Leahy Amendment. The Leahy Amendment, which protect you in Nigeria from which protect you in Nigeria from United States military or United States weapon. So any weapon purchased from United States, you are protected by the United States law not to for the government that are that are human rights violators. It prohibit them. So even now, let me tell you, even this Super Tucano aircraft that Nigeria purchased, it means that they can't use it on Biafra people. They can't use it on us, because if they use it, they have now violated this Leahy Amendment, which actually protected us or is protecting us against United States weapon. So if Nigeria government will go for that to use that weapon they purchased from the United States on Biafra people, then I think we have a lot of cases here, because they are not going to use it. So let anybody, all the lawyers in Nigeria should go and educate them now. They should go and educate them that the law of the United States is prohibiting them from using that Tucano aircraft to commit genocide and to commit human rights, to violate human rights in Biafra land. That is what this law is trying to tell you. It's telling you that the law is protecting the citizen of foreign country, from the government using a weapon purchased from America on them. So it is very important that all of you in Nigeria, the lawyers in Nigeria, to go and educate the lie Mohammed, who puts on the map that America sold this thing to you, does not mean that because this one the cease is not coming, so you have collected cease. Does not mean that now you will Hope is on the man who is proudly campaigning how he invited the military to come and bomb Imo State. Does not mean that you now use this Tucano now to go and bomb Imo State, because you are not only committing crime against the Biafra people, but also you are breaching the United States Leahy Amendment, which on that amendment you were able to purchase this Tucano aircraft. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the law of the United States is applicable on how you are going to use this Tucano aircraft in Nigeria. That is law. That is law. I did not say it. It is the law of America. So if you are purchasing that Super Tucano, you are to use it on internationally recognized terrorist organization, Boko Haram, Fulani Herdsmen, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all that. That is the people you are going, and they are in the northeast. So do not bring Tucano aircraft to Biafra land, because there is no terrorist organization in Biafra land. That is number one. Now let us continue. So among other things, the purpose of Leahy Amendment, number one, is to shield citizens of foreign sovereign from harm caused by United States weapon in the hand of security forces guilty of gross human rights violation. In 2014, Congress enacted Leahy Amendment number 2. It generally prohibits the use of Defense Department fund to assist through training, equipment, or otherwise unit of foreign security forces if the Secretary of Defense possesses credible information of their complicity in gross human rights violation. The Secretary may waive the prohibition of for extraordinary circumstances, or by determining that the foreign government has taken necessary corrective step, or to assist humanitarian operation, or in national security emergencies. Among other things, the purpose of Leahy Agreement number 2 is to shield citizens of foreign sovereign from harm caused by the United States weapon in the hand of security forces guilty of gross human rights violation. All conditions precedent to this action have occurred or have been performed. You see, count 1, Leahy Amendment number 1. The plaintiff, which is the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, repeat and re-allege paragraph 1 to 40 above as if fully set for hearing. Every unit of Nigeria security forces are guilty of gross violation of human rights against Biafra, including the Nigeria Air Force, which is known to defendant Secretary of State Tony Blinken. Defendant Tony Blinken has not determined that the government of the Nigeria taking effective measures to bring the reasonable members of the security forces unit to justice. The delivery of 6 Super Tucano military aircraft to the Nigerian government under the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 of the Arms Export Control Act violated Leahy Amendment Number 1. You see, the defendant Blinken is planning immediately to deliver 6 additional Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by security forces guilty of gross violation of human rights against Biafrans in violation of Leahy Amendment Number 1. IPOB member 1 to 10 reasonably fear that the Super Tucano military aircraft will be used by the Nigeria State Air Force to kill or injure them or to destroy their properties because of their IPOB membership or Biafra heritage. Count 2. Section 10 of the Administrative Procedure Act, plaintiff repeat and allege paragraph 1 to 46 as fully set forth herein. Every unit of the Nigerian Security Forces is guilty of gross violation of its right, human right against Biafrans, including the Nigeria Air Force, which is known to defendant Secretary of State Tony Blinken. Defendant Blinken has not determined that the Nigerian government is taking effective measures to bring the responsible members of the security forces unit to justice. The delivery of 6 Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria under the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 of the Arms Export Control Act was exceeded statutory authority in violation of Leahy Amendment Number 1, 22 of the U.S. and the Administrative Procedure Act 5 of the U.S. 51. Defendant Blinken is planning immediately to deliver 6 additional Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by security forces guilty of gross violation of human rights against Biafrans in violation of Leahy Amendment Number 1 and Administrative Procedure Act A and C. Plaintiff members 1 to 10 reasonable fear that Super Tucano military aircraft will be used by the Nigeria Air Force immediately to kill, injure them, or to destroy their property because of their IPOB membership, religious, and Biafra heritage. Count 3. Leahy Amendment Number 2. Plaintiff repeat and allege paragraph 1 to 52 as it fully set forth herein. Every unit of the Nigerian Security Forces is guilty of violation of human rights against Biafrans, including the Nigeria Air Force, which is known to defendant Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. Defendant Austin has not determined that the exception or waiver provision of 10 U.S. apply to the delivery of Super Tucano military aircraft to the Nigeria Air Force. Prior to delivery of 6 Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by the security forces guilty of gross violation of human rights, contravene Leahy Amendment 2. Defendant Austin is planning immediately to deliver 6 additional Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by security forces guilty of gross violation of human rights against Biafrans in violation of Leahy Amendment Number 2. The plaintiff member 1 to 10 reasonably fear that the Super Tucano military aircraft following the impending delivery to the government of Nigeria will be used by the Nigeria Air Force to kill, injure them, or to destroy their property because of their IPOB membership, religion, and Biafra heritage. Count 5. Section 10 of the Administrative Procedure Act, plaintiff repeat and allege paragraph 1 to 58 as it fully set forth herein. Every unit of the Nigeria Security Forces is guilty of gross violation of the human right against Biafrans, including the Nigeria Air Force, which is known to defendant Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. Defendant Austin has not determined that the exception or waiver provision of 10 applied to the delivery of Super Tucano military aircraft to the Nigeria Air Force. Delivery of 6 Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by the security forces guilty of grave violation of human rights against Biafrans contravene Leahy Amendment number 2. And the Administrative Procedure Act 5. Defendant Austin is planning immediately to deliver 6 additional Super Tucano military aircraft to the government of Nigeria for use by security forces guilty of gross violation of human rights against Biafrans in contravention of Leahy Amendment and Administrative Procedure Act 5. And C, plaintiff member John reasonably fear that the delivery of the government of Nigeria of Super Tucano military aircraft will be used by the Nigeria Air Force imminently to kill, injure, and injure them and destroy their property because of IPOB membership and Biafra heritage. Whereof plaintiff demand judgment against defendant on all counts jointly as severe as follow. Declaratory judgment that defendant passed an impending delivery of Super Tucano aircraft to Nigeria Air Force violate or would violate Leahy Amendment number 1 and 2, and in Administrative Procedure Act 5 for an injunction against defendant prohibiting any further delivery of Super Tucano military aircraft to the Nigeria Air Force in violation of Leahy Amendment number 1 and 2. The Administrative Procedure Act number 5 for an injunction directing defendant to seek the return of the 6 Super Tucano aircraft already delivered to Nigeria Air Force in violation of Leahy Amendment number 2. IPOB, 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 IPOB. We are even requesting that they return the one already delivered. And like Mohammed is there giving statement, and we don't understand the deal they are talking about. IPOB, I want you to shout wherever you are. You respond when you hear me. IPOB, IPOB, IPOB. All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. This is what I call autopilot. The struggle for Biafra restoration has entered autopilot. IPOB, IPOB, Anagwo Onere, Anagwo Onere. And as I'm talking to you now, even the government of Nigeria, they are confused. They don't know what is going on. Like Mohammed don't know which deal are they talking about. The presidency, they don't know what is going on. And we are winning. We are winning. This is not propaganda. This is not lie. What we have presented here is fact. Violation of the Leahy Amendment. They sent aircraft to Imo State. They sent aircraft to Biafra land to start bombarding people, killing people. Abakaere is part of them, all of them. Air operation, ground operation, joint operation, military, police, DSS, all of them in Imo State. And they came out and started advertising it. Hope Uzodinma, I ordered the bombardment. Hope Uzodinma was even asking people to leave, that they are going to bomb the place. Meanwhile, Boko Haram is there. Meanwhile, ISIS is there. Meanwhile, Al-Qaeda is there. Fulani Hezbollah is there. Nobody has bombarded them. IPOB. I hope you are all responding to this shout I'm shouting. IPOB. I can see your response. IPOB. IPOB. That is what we call autopilot. The struggle has entered a very dangerous stage. And you remember, we say, if you know the secret you discuss with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, start to implement it now. If you know that secret, that thing you were discussing, that secret you have with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, before they kidnap him, start to implement it now. IPOB. So we are demanding the return of the 6 aircraft. And let me tell you, America is a country of justice, especially when it comes to international relations. We demand the return of the 6. And as I'm talking to you now, it is only from this broadcast that Lai Mohammed will understand what is going on. And I am doing this on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose because we don't lie. So they cannot go to America now and say, what has been presented here, which is already going to the Congress, is a lie. They cannot come here to say they did not bombard ESN. They cannot come here to say they did not bombard innocent Biafrans. They cannot come here and say they did not burn properties and houses that belong to individuals. Are they going to deny that? No. Are they going to deny that? Of course, it is something you cannot deny. So you cannot lie to America. America, and the Abakaere that is being bundled to America now by FBI is part of this thing we are talking about. IPOB. IPOB. As they think they have captured our leader, they don't know that we have what we call autopilot. The struggle has entered autopilot. The wave of disintegration of Nigeria is something that nobody can quit. In fact, if you come and say you will be the one to stop the movement, your head will go for it. Your head will go. A lot of people who have died either by plane crash or either by corona and all that, all of them say over their dead body they will see Biafra. All of them, over their dead body they will see Biafra. So if you want to commit suicide, you don't need to go and buy rope. That is a new way to commit suicide. Just declare, and you mean it. Just declare that over your dead body you will see Biafra. That is the end. You don't need to go and buy pill. You don't need to go and buy a sniper. If you are in Nigeria, you're a government official in Nigeria, you want to commit suicide, you want to kill yourself, you don't need to go and buy rope. Just come out openly and you'll be serious. You come out openly and say, over your dead body will Biafra come. And you'll be serious because we know when you are joking and when we know when you are serious. So if you are serious, we will leave you with your fate. Say, over your dead body will Biafra come. Just say it. That will be the end of you. IPOB. All right, let us continue. Let us continue. There we go. Now, as we continue, for injunction against defendant prohibiting any further delivery of Super Tucano military aircraft to the Nigeria Air Force in violation of Leahy Agreement Amendment number 1 and 2 and the Administrative Procedure Act 5. For injunction directing defendant to seek the return of the 6 Super Tucano aircraft already delivered to Nigeria Air Force in violation of the Leahy Agreement, Amendment, number 1 and 2, and the Administrative Procedure Act 5, for costs incurred by plaintiff in this action and for such other relief of court deems just proper. Oh my goodness. You people don't know how prepared we are. You people don't know how prepared we are. Do you?